Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, moving on to roll call.
Mayor Steve King.
Here.
Councilmember Tim Brown.
Here.
Rick Skorda.
City Council minutes for December 5th, 2016. I'll entertain a motion at this point.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Brown. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Skorda seconds. Is there any discussion before I call for the question? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting tonight's City Council minutes from December 5th, 2016, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. City Council minutes for December 12th, 2016. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion we approve those minutes from December 12th, 2016.
Okay, Mr. Skorda makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Brown. Is there any discussion before I call for the question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Before we adjourn, I want to say a special thank you to the St. Francis ambassadors who are always here for us and are always representing our city with pride. Very, very positively. Thank you. And thank you to this council for standing tall through the last 2 years, making some of the tough decisions we've had to go through. I appreciate all of you and all that you have done. Again, to the public, thank you for allowing me 14 years in public service. It's been interesting. This time, we'll adjourn.
Free at last, free at last.
Enjoy your time.
You gotta keep the gap on here.
Keep the gap on.
I don't have a dent.
Oh, thank you. You know, he's got the same first name. All you have to do is cut them in half and glue it together. Thought about it. Ready?
I think we're ready for the oath of office. Mr. Mubar. Stand here, please. Citizens, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Joseph Mubar,
I, Joseph Mubar,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of council member
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of council member
for the city of St. Francis
for the city of St. Francis
in the county of Anoka
and the county of Anoka
and state of Minnesota
and state of Minnesota
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Thank you. Sign here. Mr. Bauer? Can you please raise your right hand? Repeat after me. I, Robert Bauer,
I, Robert Bauer,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Minnesota,
and of the state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of council member
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of council member
for the city of St. Francis
for the city of St. Francis
in the county of Anoka
in the county of Anoka,
and state of Minnesota
the state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Please sign here. Mr. Dave? Mr. Good, pay attention Neil Westcott. Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Jerry Spade,
I, Jerry Tate,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Minnesota,
and of the state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of council member
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of council member
for the city of St. Francis,
for the city of St. Francis,
in the county of Anoka,
and the county of Anoka,
and the state of
and
Minnesota,
the state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Mr. Selman? Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Stephen Feldman,
I, Stephen Bowman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of mayor
and faithfully discharge the duties of office of mayor for the city of St. Francis,
in the county of
and
Anoka.
the county of Anoka, the state of Minnesota, to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please sign here. You did.
That stuff's easy to find on my phone. Okay. Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. Roll call there.
Mayor Steve Feldman.
Here.
Councilmembers Jerry Tavate.
Present.
Joe Milbar.
Here.
Robert Bauer.
Here.
Rick Scorda.
Okay. We'll adopt agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Bauer, Mr. Mulbauer makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Arnold, second.
Mr. Scoto makes a second. Before I take a vote, any discussion? None? All in favor, say aye. 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 Opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to a consent agenda. We're going to do something a little different from now on. We're going to explain what each item is before we vote on it. So I'd like Joe Coleman, the city administrator, to explain what the consent agenda is before we vote on it.
Sure. So the consent agenda is essentially a series of items that we approve in one motion. It can be anywhere from, one to maybe a dozen different items that are generally routine city business. So like tonight, we're just acknowledging the Upper Rum River Watershed Management Organization minutes and just acknowledging that we have received those. And then you'll see payment to claims on there, and those are just the regular payments that the city makes to vendors and just basically to make the city operate. So all of our bills are listed on there, and the city council essentially approves all of those at every city council meeting. So those are, it's kind of a light consent agenda tonight, and it's usually stuff that doesn't require a whole lot of discussion.
All right, thank you, Joe. All right, do I have a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda, approve it, rather?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Bauer makes that motion. Do I have a second? I'll second. Mr. Tavate makes a second. Before I take a vote on it, any questions or discussion there? None? All in favor, say aye. 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 Opposed, say opposed? None? Motion passes. All right, we're moving on to acknowledge the Upper Rum River Water Management Organization. Is that part of the consent, right?
That's part of the consent,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. We're getting new at this, so be a little patient with me. All right, we got a set part here, a meeting open to the public. If anyone wants to come forth, state your name and your address.
Actually, tonight they have signed up, someone,
Okay, so we do have some.
we
Okay.
do have some.
Okay, good, thank you.
Actually, we have 4.
Oh.
The first one is Leroy Schaefer.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Mark T. Schaefer, I live at 4526 230 Fourth Avenue, Northwest. citizens in this community. It has not always been done well. Sometimes discourse, things have been distracted from the reality of things. And I hope in time that we will see more and more. I, as the common man, will have a voice in this government, in this city. I really would like to see, and I hope that I can participate if I see that we come along with $50 million projects or substantial investments in things that I don't feel we need. I will let you know ahead of time. I'm 77 years old. I don't know if I can cut it anymore. I've cut this whole community several times, thousands of times altogether, and I will do it again. Whoever gets to the point where they get imperial, where they think they have a foundation of to try to just have compassion. We're very compassionate and we're very emotional now. But I'm not afraid to say what needs to be said. All you gentlemen, I hope, will discharge your duties with consideration and compassion for the average person in this community. I have covered this city many times. I went through this area when it was, we were the highest city in the county that had houses that were taken away from people, repossessed. And it broke my heart. I've had people that I have tried to support, and I felt they were, didn't keep good faith. With a little bit of compassion and understanding of the common man in this city. I will not I will not disparage anybody that does the work appropriately, honestly, and judiciously. But I will criticize those people who get complacent and don't understand the common man. I would like to see some changes made that would cut expenses. I always have. I think we're getting a little bit on the high road. I think we're acting too much like a big city. And I don't think the people of this community are not want us to get too big-headed. So, I guess that's enough said. So reflection, I hope you will pass on your own thoughts and minds. And you'll see the wisdom of it. And I hope you care. Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Roy.
Next person is Sarah Udvig.
Sarah Udvig, 3709, 229 Lane Northwest, apartment 2. Welcome to council. Thank you. Well, Jerry, I guess you're new again, and Jennifer for remaining on the council. I got involved when the wastewater treatment facility came up, and I talked to lots of people. I had gone through the same thing when I lived in East Bethel, which was one of the reasons we moved. So I had kind of been down this road before. I knew what was going on, and I knew that there was only so much that we were going to be able to do. And I was very honest with people about that. Because once you get so far in the process, you can't just back out without losing a great amount of money and time and investment. But I do believe that the fire use being up there will work very hard for all of us. This is a little different. Usually, you have one boss. You guys don't have one boss. You have the whole city. And they expect some results, and they expect you to listen, and they expect you to vote the way they are asking you to vote. It's not your job to vote how you want. It's your job to vote how the community wants. You need to listen. You need to make time to listen, don't ever make us feel like you don't have time for us. You always need to put people first. And you have a big responsibility sitting up there running this community. And I hope that you will make us all proud, and that when it's time for you guys to run again, that you will give us a reason to give you your jobs back. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Next person, Angie Bray.
Angie Bray, 22901 River Boulevard. I would like to say congratulations to council members that are new and Mr. Feldman, the mayor. I was here too. I had Sarah send my name out so I could address some of the previous members, but I guess they're gone. I saw them sleeping. So I guess what I want to say is I look forward to you guys listening to us. I'm repeating what Sarah said because I know that you guys want to do what the people want. And yeah, we're all your boss, and I know that you guys are going to work well for us. So I look forward to the next few years with you guys. And feel free to embrace us community members too to help with whatever you guys need. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
House 1, Liz Fairbanks.
Good morning. Liz Fairbanks, 24360 Yukon Street, St. Francis. Good morning, kids. It's been a long haul this past year. I want to thank every one of you, even if I disagreed with you. I want to thank you all for putting up a good fight for the city in your beliefs, like I said, if I agree or not. However, I want to discuss something about Robert Bauer. Robert Bauer has put a notice in that he's going to leave the fire department. Now, I believe that to be utterly insane. For the simple fact that our wonderful police chief, I believe it is, his brother got allowed to be, detective, so we had to change the charter for that, which is great, fine, I don't care that his brother's working here. If he's a good cop, great. Robert Bauer is a great fire department person, right? Does his thing. Why do we have to get rid of him on the charter, or on the council for that? That, I think, is ridiculous. He's obviously proven to everybody and to all of us that he can fulfill both needs. Even if he does have to stray away from certain votings, I believe that to be appropriate. So I do think that that needs to be taken into consideration. My next thing would be to please start fixing what's broken already in our city. Don't keep adding to our bills. People of St. Francis have spoken immensely, loudly. I work in the city. Everyone comes to me because they know I'm involved. Whether they agree with me or not, whether I agree with them or not, we all talk. We can converse without hating each other. But I'm telling you right now, because I hear it, I see it, and I live it. So please, start fixing the things that are already broken in this city. The ugly thing on the corner, that gas station that's been here since I moved here over 10 years ago. And then another thing about the water. Yeah, it's already been through and said and done. The water rates are going to go up again. And I just want to tell you about a customer of mine. He's a young male, lives by himself, has a home all by himself, works his butt off, to say the least. His water bill jumped over 100%. He's afraid to take a shower once or even twice a week. That's ridiculous. This is supposed to be an affordable city? I am afraid not. I have another friend. He has a young little man was living with him on the temporary basis. His water bill also jumped over 100%. And he's rarely ever home because he works over the road. How does that work? A lot of people's bills seem to have jumped dramatically, and I don't hear any good excuses other than we want the city to build. Well, how are we going to expect anybody to move in here if our water bills and any other type of utilities keep skyrocketing. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I know working with you three very closely, you guys have, you totally have our backs, the people. I believe that with all of you guys will help us find some resolution. We need to forget about this big spending unless it's like needed. We shouldn't be throwing out money just because it really isn't technically ours. Well, yeah, it is because it comes out of our paychecks. So if you want to be liked in the city and you want to be liked on the council, I would definitely make sure that you guys are working for everybody in St. Francis, not just you individually, not just for the section, not for that half of town, but the whole darn thing. With that, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Anyone else, Bill?
No, no.
I want to clarify something here if I can. The detective with the police chief, that was a policy change, not a charter change. I just want to clarify that. If I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
That was a policy change, not a charter change.
Code section change.
Right, okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Moving on to petitions and requested applications, ordinances. We have a request for proposals, RFPs for engineering and planning services. You want to explain that?
Sure. Honorable Mayor, members of the council, we have separate RFPs, requests for proposals, essentially for planning services and engineering services. And so how this is outlined is to request firms to give an overview of their firm and if they're willing to propose to be our city engineer or our city planner. We have a 30-day timeline on this, which is a pretty quick turnaround. The city staff was planning on sending it to basically everyone that would serve the area. So, if we would miss anyone, we would put it on our website so it's available to anyone who is wishing to put a proposal out to the city. And then as we get those, we will distribute them and then consider interviews and how that process may unfold. So with that, we're looking to consider a motion to authorize the city staff to send out the attached request for proposals.
Okay, we have a resolution for that, is that right?
No, we can do it by simple motion.
Okay.
So,
I'll make that motion.
All right. Mr. Murrell makes a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Today makes a second, any discussion? If none, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, moving on to resolution 2017-01, approving appointments for 2017. Explain that one, Joe.
Sure. Honorable Mayor, members of the council, what we have here is the 2017 appointments. These would be for different consulting services, boards, commissions. They're outlined in the resolution. If you have any questions, we can walk through it, but this, after working with the mayor, this is what's being proposed tonight for your consideration.
Philip. All right.
Working with papers.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2017-01, approving appointments for 2017?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Mr. Scodell makes a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Mubel makes a second. For the vote, any discussion at all? None? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I would just, it's in the packet too, if anybody wants to go and look at it on the internet, the appointments. So the information is out there on the website.
Thank you for that, by the way. Okay. See, resolution 2017-02, authorizing the public safety director to enter into and execute the master service agreement of Minnesota Court Data Services for government agencies. Joe, you want to explain that, or should Todd, one or the other?
We can let Todd give a brief overview.
If you can, thank you.
Sure. Basically, the joint powers agreement is something we renew every 5 years. It's basically an agreement with the BCA. We utilize a lot of tools through the BCA, including NCIC, where we would enter missing persons, look for missing persons, run warrants, day-to-day use in a squad car and in the office. It's just allowing us to continue to do that. And the price hasn't changed from the previous agreement in 2012. My understanding it's going to remain the same. So it just basically allows us to do our job. We do probably 70% of our job through the BCA.
Now, one thing is being replaced, Odyssey is being replaced by the MGA, is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Odyssey is our former, basically, court connection, where we would look at dispositions for, ranging from gun permits to disposal of evidence. It's the one way we can look at court dispositions, to see if a sentence has been issued, if a person has been convicted, so we can start that process and see where we want to go with, like I said, with evidence or gun permits or any other thing we might use a court connection, a view into the courts to see what's going on with who we're dealing with.
Thank you.
And that's being replaced by MGA. Odyssey is going away, and there's no cost to that.
Okay, thank you. All right, any further? Okay. I need a motion for Resolution 2017-2002, authorizing the Public Safety Director to enter into and execute the Master Service Agreement of Minnesota Court Data Services for governmental agencies. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Bauer makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Newbauer makes a second. For a vote, any discussion at all? If none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to Resolution 2017-03, approving State of Minnesota Joint Powers Agreements with the City of St. Francis on behalf of the City Attorney and the Police Department. Once again, want to explain that one?
Ties into it.
Ties into
Yeah,
it.
it's
Pretty much.
just what I kind of combined the two.
Okay, combined well. Okay.
And then just one thing to note on the Joint Powers Agreement, there is an amendment to this one that wasn't there in 2012, basically regarding e-charging. E-charging is a way we basically submit cases and charge cases through the courts, and it's required through Anoka County now. That's how we do it. We don't physically hand-sign complaints anymore, except for felonies. So all misdemeanor and gross misdemeanor complaints are basically done through the computer, and it allows us access to do that by entering into that amendment.
Okay. And this is the first time it's being done like this?
I believe so. I don't think it was there. It's new this time, and I don't believe it was there in 2012.
Okay. All right. Let's see, we'll go Resolution 2017-03, approving State of Minnesota Joint Powers Agreements with the City of St. Francis on behalf of the City Attorney and Police Department. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Bauer makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Skoral makes a second. Before the vote, any discussion? If none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. And moving down to Resolution 2017-04, changing the order of the City Council agenda. Joe?
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, what we have here, what caused us to revisit the City Council agenda to begin with was to have a meeting open to the public at the beginning and at the end of the meeting. So residents could have the opportunity to speak at the beginning of the meeting, the council would conduct their business, and then they have an opportunity to address the council after the business has been discussed. With that, we also looked at simplifying the processing of business and just kind of limiting it to public hearings, special business, old business, and new business. Not dividing it up by resolutions or ordinances or petitions or applications. It's just going to be old or new business, basically, unless there's a public hearing. So with that, the proposed resolution would kind of streamline our current agenda and I think give residents more of an opportunity to speak and address the council.
Okay. I also want to add that one of the reasons that we wanted this change is the meetings used to be at 7 o'clock years ago, now they're at 6 o'clock. This will allow you, the people, to have a say at something at the end of the meeting. If you come late, or if you forgot to say something at the beginning, you can add something, or if there's something of an item that we're passing that you don't understand or agree with, you have a point at the end of the meeting. Instead of waiting 2 more weeks down the road, you have a point that you can have your input. This council here is about openness, transparency, and accountability. It's your government. We're not going to forget that, okay? Now, if that being said, Resolution 2017-04, changing the order of the City Council agenda. Do I have a motion to approve that?
Make that motion.
Mr. Newbauer makes that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Bauer makes a second. For the vote, any discussion? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Councilman.
I just have a question. I think I'm just fine with the order and the 2 open mic sessions. When it comes to the reports, I kind of liked the habit we had gotten into where the department heads gave their, hey, this last month we added value to the citizens by doing this and that, Are you gonna end up being the person to summarize that, or are you still, because all I see here is just the administrator's report and the attorney's report.
Correct, and so...
I mean, I don't care, I don't care if that whole side of the table never speaks. If you just want to summarize the accomplishments of your departments, I'm fine with that. I just don't want to lose that. That's my, so what,
I prefer them to speak, and, about their department. I think it'd be better, obviously, if they come and speak,
Yeah, too.
rather than trying to have, Joe do it all. It's,
yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter to me, I don't want to lose that. So if the administrator's report is meant to encompass that activity, I'm just fine. That was my only question.
Oh, that's a good point, very good point.
The question that I had is, are the speakers going to sign in at the beginning of the meeting anymore? Or should they have to?
I don't think they should.
I don't think on the second one, they should have to on the first maybe, but not the second.
Well, if they don't have to sign in on the second, then why would they have to sign in on the first? I mean, to me, it just seems that either they do or they don't, because, it...
I would say you don't have.
I think one thing that helps though, if you do have them sign in, you do capture the name, you capture the address. So if the audio recording's not perfectly clear, you do capture that for the record. And maybe, during the course of the meeting, there could be a second sign-up sheet where they could just excuse themselves and go sign up for the second period if they wanted to. I think that is a valuable thing to have for the record.
That's a good point, very good point. Are you in agreement with that?
I was never not in agreement with that. I just wanted to clarify, because...
Joe would make that way to sign up for both? Okay.
We can maybe have a sign-up sheet before the meeting and then put another one out there to sign up while the meeting's going on and grab that right before.
Okay, all right. And then we'll make that change for the reports? All right, I like that too, okay. All right, then, if there are no further discussion, resolution, okay, I'm sorry.
So approving this prior to making those changes, are we locking it in now, or are we going to allow the department heads to continue to speak?
So when we had talked about this, I guess we do have administrator, attorney, and council member reports on there, kind of as an example, but anything can be put under reports, just like anything can be put under old business, new business. So I guess that's just kind of an example, but we could insert, let's just say, Public Works Director underneath reports, and they would be able to come up and give the report.
So you wouldn't have to change it the way it is.
Is that fine with you, Mr. President?
Then the open floor would be below that, so if a question is spurred by the department heads for people that want to come up and speak on issues that the department heads, is that where the open meeting is going to be?
It would be just prior to the reports the way it stands right now. It'd be after all business is voted on, and just before the department heads and council give their reports. So the council and whatever department head would have the, I guess, last remarks of the meeting.
Any discussion on that?
I think maybe obviously if they have questions for the department heads, rather than waiting another 2 weeks, then the open to the public should be almost basically the end of it.
Can we do that?
Yeah, we got wide discretion to do however you guys want to put it together.
Well, I think, so, how should I say it? So you can look at it two ways. If you have the public come up right before the reports, well, then they can ask their question, and then the staff member is going to be coming up right behind them and can potentially answer it, perhaps. Or you can look at it the other way, where the staff members can give the reports, and then somebody can react to that. So it's kind of which, I would kind of like to give staff a chance to digest the question, go back and do their homework. It might be a simple one, but if it's a harder one, they're going to have to go back and do some research and come back with an answer. So I kind of think it might be a better idea to keep the order that you have here, where folks, they can digest the business, they can, give their reaction to what they heard as far as business is concerned. Remember, business isn't conducted during reports. It's just here's what's going on, here's what's coming up. And so I think, I would personally prefer, to keep the order in which we have here. And then, if they have a question, they can ask it in that second time period. If the staff member reports generates a question, they can email any of us, and we can have Joe, bring it forward to the next meeting as part of a report there. But a lot of times, I think the staff is going to have to need time to go answer a question. I think you're going to probably decline more.
That's a good, makes sense. That's a good point.
So that's my 2 cents.
And the fact that they can respond, they can correspond with us ourselves, so the council members and myself, so, and we will get back to them. So that's one of the things I want to emphasize here. If you communicate with us, we will get back to you. It's not going to be one of these things we just overlook or ignore. That won't happen anymore. Any further discussion? You have direction then? Okay.
Just adopt the resolution.
All right, so I just need a resolution 2017-04, changing the order of the city council agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Bauer makes that motion. Do I have a second?
Point of clarification, isn't there already a motion on the table?
I haven't put it on yet. I didn't know that, sir.
I think we did.
No,
It's my understanding it was already a motion on the table. We're at the discussion phase of the motion.
Oh, you're all right. I correct myself. You're all right. Very good, thank you. All right, in that case, I've got a first, I got a second.
Discussion, so now would be a vote.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Once again, I will get used to this as I go on. Okay, moving on to reports, consultants and staff members. Engineer?
Nothing to report unless you have questions.
No, I don't. Anybody? A question? Attorney?
I have nothing to report this evening.
Okay. Staff? Community Development Director, Comprehensive Plan RFP selection?
Mayor and Council. Every 10 years, the city must complete a comprehensive plan. This plan is extensive and addresses the components and infrastructure of the city. I have attached to the agenda the city requirements as laid out in the checklist by Met Council that really identifies all of the information that is required within this plan. The process is part of the city's overall planning for today and for the future. It is important to keep our city character, but we do have a responsibility to plan for the needs of our residents and our businesses, both existing and those to come. The work within this plan in correlation it has to the master planning that we're doing are important for the next 25 years as the city continues to grow and change. As they are different plans, they will ultimately work together to move the city forward in the future. Before you in your packet, I have a request for action for the selection of a consultant to complete our 2040 comprehensive plan. An RFP was released, notifications were sent by direct email to 4 planning firms, and an opportunity was posted on our website. Only 2 RFP proposals were received. The timing of the RFP and the selection are meant to work with the planning grant that was received from the Met Council. The Met Council grant pays for just under half of the expected costs that we received from the RFP, and the remainder of the expenses were budgeted in the 2017 department budget. The cost to complete the plan is identified as an up to. Attached, you will find components of the 2 proposals that were received. Both organizations are qualified to complete the comprehensive plan and met the requirements of the RFP. Both submissions were from organizations that are currently working with the city. In your packet, I have attached the introduction letter, the project approach, the schedules, which are probably driven by the state as far as the requirements, and I briefly outlined those within the agenda report. Most cities have completed comprehensive plans in other cities. The one difference between the proposals is that the approach to completing the plan is a little different. NAC and Bolton Maine completed our 2030 plan. Please note that the fees do come in the same. Both organizations were asked to clarify the resiliency, as it was pointed out in one of the 2 in regards that was not included. Bolton Maine added that it would be an additional $4,000 to incorporate a full resiliency plan, and HKGI said it was included in the scope and fees. Tonight, I am here requesting a motion from council to accept one of the proposals so I can move forward with the work necessary in the 2040 comp plan. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Mayor? Yes. It's my understanding that HKGI has that full resiliency plan included in there?
Yep.
Is that what I heard correctly?
Correct. They identified that that is included within the scope and fees.
So really what we're talking about is 72,100 or 73,100 to 69,100.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? So you're looking for a vote on one of these companies?
Correct.
Anything, Joe? Vice Chair?
No, we have two proposals, and like Kate had said, we've been doing work with both different firms, so we're familiar with each firm and their work approach, so.
And this is just for the comprehensive plan, right?
Correct.
There wouldn't be any conflict given that Bolton Mink to the 2030, and if, say, we did go with the other, with HKGI, there wouldn't be an issue with those two being separate?
Mayor, Council, it wouldn't be, one example, right now, we do with our redevelopment plan, HKGI is working with Bolton Bank on some of the engineering. They didn't outline which engineer specifically they would use when they proposed the costs. So, a lot of it is an update and not necessarily something new also. So that would allow a new firm to kind of pick up some of those pieces.
Okay, thank you.
I guess I've got a question, if I may.
Yeah.
I don't know, when I look at these two proposals, I guess number one, I was struck by, I've never seen two suppliers come back and give me the exact same price for the same service. I don't understand how that happened. I'm granted there's the $4,000 for the resilience plan, but having said that, when I look at the two proposals, the NAC/Bolton Mink, they discreetly called out the prices for 4 tasks on the engineering side. The other supplier proposed just a blanket $21,000 for contingency. I mean, how am I supposed to take that? Do they understand what was in the statement of work?
Mayor, Council, they did receive a copy of the checklist in regards to the RFP. The one thing that was different between the two, Bolton Bank and NAC came in with clear who was going to do it and how much that cost was divided. The way HKGI came in was, as far as their engineering, they gave it a budget. So whether they use Bolton Bank or whether they use one of the other engineering firms, it's an up to, the engineering cost up to that amount. They didn't clarify specifically which engineer would do that. So that was kind of the difference between the way the two compensations were.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess, well, if you're going to ask for discussion later during the vote, I'll chime in then. That's my only question for you. Thanks.
How does this relate to those other RFPs, Joe?
So if, the other RFPs, we're looking to be, find a city engineer and a city planner for the year of 2017. This project will stretch into, would it go into 18? Well into 18. So I mean, whoever we engage with on this project, we're going to have a long-term relationship with until they complete the comprehensive plan.
Okay. I just want to add here that I don't want this to be interpreted as a conflict of interest. To be honest with you, and I want to be honest always, we're doing an RFP here because we're going to replace the engineering company Bolton & Mink. That is something that we talked about before, and we're going to see this happen. So I don't know if Bolton & Mink can work, if they're not going to be the engineering company of the city, can they work on this project without a confliction? Do I need to ask Jared Bogie that, or you that?
I mean, they could work on the project without being the appointed engineer, and so either proposal would work for the city. My understanding, NAC is going to use Bolton & Mink, that's who they propose this with. The HKGI is going to find some engineering firm, whether it's whatever engineering firm we award our RFP to come February, or if they have someone else, I don't know. But they set aside a budget and didn't specify what firm they're going to use. So it's kind of open on their end. We don't know who they're going to select.
So do we need to do this vote at this time, or should we wait till we have the engineering company replaced, or how should that work? What's more fair, more right? And I want to stipulate also, this is no reflection upon Jared Bogey as an engineer. This is basically guilt by association. Bolton and Mink, in our opinion, or my opinion, through being here 20 months and seeing what's been done to the city, I believe they've done enough damage to the city. So that's why we're going for a replacement of the engineering company. I just want to make that point clear. So if that's going to be a conflict, do we have to put this off until we get engineering company replacement? I'm for that, but it's the best way to go in this direction.
Well, I think there's two options essentially on the table. You have NAC, which will be working with Bolton and Mink, and you have HKGI, where it's open-ended. And so if the city pursues a different engineering firm, HKGI seems to be more open on that.
Okay. And can I ask you, do you have a preference yourself, or do you think you have any familiarity with HKGI?
Mayor and Council, right now HKGI is doing our master plan for Highway 47 and the Bridge Street corridors, and they've been working with a lot of community engagement.
Okay.
NAC, and though they have a history of doing our plan in the past, but have a familiarity. I think both of them are qualified. The one thing I did lay out in your agenda report is the time frame. So I think as we look at potentially tabling this, we need to be careful that we don't push it out too far, because there are a lot of state mandated requirements based on time. So that would be my own.
Any other discussion here?
Mr. Mayor? I guess my thoughts, and first, I guess don't speak for all of us when you say we are going to do this. I'm perfectly fine stating that we have plans to go look into things, but we haven't voted on replacing anybody. I personally haven't. I don't know if you three have, but I haven't. So choose your words a little more carefully.
I'll take that into consideration.
But I mean, that's, nothing has happened yet. I guess, but my recommendation would be, I don't want to kick the can down the road. I don't think any new information is going to come to light that would help this decision. We have the two proposals. I guess I've worked with the planners since they came to this city, when I was on the Planning and Zoning Commission for 12 years. I think they did a very good job 10 years ago when we did our last comprehensive plan update. I don't think I want to lose that relationship. We would still have a relationship with the other supplier doing the St. Francis Forward plan. I mean, they have, the scope is limited for the engineering firm. So I think, I don't think that was going to conflict with whatever may happen when we open up the RFPs and decide on who's going to be the city planner for the next year. I mean, it is a pretty limited scope when it comes to comprehensive plan. I guess my personal recommendation is I would not recommend throwing away the experience that team has when it comes to doing the comprehensive plan. You only do this thing once every 10 years, but it's a pretty important document.
I realize that very much.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay, and I just want to say, when I say we, I campaigned here and talked to people in the city, went door to door for many, many months, many, many hours talking to people. That we is them, just to let you know. Not just me. It's them, the people. Their voice is being heard through this new council. So just to stipulate that too. All right, how should we go about this, Joe, and taking a vote here?
Someone's got to make a motion.
Make a motion, but how do I make the motion? For which one or the other, or how do I do it?
Yep, so, point of order. Have we accepted the bids? Because first there should be a motion to accept the RFPs, and then secondly would be awarding the contractor, whichever contractor you would like.
Also, Mr. Mayor, traditionally there has been a separate motion to just accept the two proposals before you start debating them, so done more as a matter of tradition.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to accept them then.
Okay, Mr. Meadwell made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Scola makes a second. All right, so the motion would go like this: to approve the RFPs.
Accept the bids.
Accept the bids.
I'll vote to accept the bids.
Vote to accept the bids. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Then I'll be out with this one, as far as how we're going to do the process of deciding one company over the other, how we're going to go about that.
Mr. Mayor, typically what would happen is a moving party would simply make a motion to appoint one of the individual entities pursuant to their response to the request for proposal. So pick one, make a motion in favor of them, and then see if you get a second.
Well, in that case, I make a motion to approve HKGI as the comprehensive plan group and all the requirements that they followed. Do I have a motion for that?
We made the motion, but I'll second
No, it's a
it.
motion for a different thing now, to approve the company.
I'll motion for it then.
Mr. Brown makes it first, do I have a second? I'll make a second. For a vote, any discussion on this?
Already had it.
We've had any discussions on this? All in favor of having HKGI be the comprehensive plan coordinator for this and working with the community development director, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. Did I hear?
Yeah, he said aye.
Said aye? Is it all everyone, all of it? 4-1. 4-1, okay, that's because I heard that. All right, motion passes 4-1. Thank you. Let's see. Moving on to police, anything, Todd? No further. Okay. Public Works?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Okay. City Administrator?
The one thing I don't have any formal report, Your Honor, but the one thing I'd like to throw out there and start thinking about is maybe having a work session with our new council, maybe the middle of February, I'm thinking. It's going to take staff some time to prepare some stuff for everybody, and just kind of sitting down and maybe doing some visioning or goal setting or whatever we want to call it, but all of us just getting together and kind of determining a path that the city's going to go down. So,
Okay, and about that one, mid-February, you're thinking?
somewhere around mid-February with the work session, and I'll come back next meeting with some proposed dates if you guys want to look at your calendars in the meantime and get it back to me, and then we can kind of go from there.
Okay, all right, good. All right, reports from council members. Anybody? Mr. Scott?
Two things. First, I'd like to congratulate you all. I feel like the last man standing sometimes, but it'll be an interesting year. Look forward to working together and making some progress in the city. So that's number one. And then number two, and the next council meeting is also a Tuesday, right? It's the 17th.
Yeah.
And then planning and zoning is the 18th, then, right? As far as you know, will we have an agenda?
Actually, I'm waiting to hear back from Nate.
Okay. Well, regardless, I'm going to be on travel that week, so I will miss a Tuesday and a Wednesday if we have that meeting. So anyway, that's all I have. Again, congratulations, you guys. Let's make some progress.
All right,
Thank you.
anybody else?
I do.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Well, I just wanted to tell the current council that, I really look forward to working with the council for the next couple of years. I know when I was campaigning, I pledged that I would hold a town hall meeting, so some type of meeting with citizens. I would still like to go forward with that, with the council's blessing. I wouldn't care if who all shows up, just as long as we don't have a quorum, or it's posted, and then everybody can show up. But, I would like to have the first one sometime in February, but I wanted to find out when I can get to the community center and post something, but I want to make sure that the council's okay with that.
I'm totally okay with it.
Anybody else? I know I campaigned, I said we used to have one town hall meeting every quarterly period, so I'm all for that.
And I think anytime we make ourselves available to the public, it's a win-win, so.
No, I can't argue with that. Anybody
I'm
else?
going to go back. One thing. He's going to hate me for this, but we've got a young man working towards his Eagle Scout badge in the back there. He's been needing to come to a meeting forever. Finally came to one tonight. He tried to come a few months ago, but he went to City Hall and set off the alarm.
I wouldn't be able to say that.
Sorry. So I just want to say, go get your merit badges done. Go get that Eagle. You're going to be pretty proud of them and pretty proud of you. So go get that work done.
Come back.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, I got some.
Oh, you got it?
I'd like to start out by saying thank you to everyone that supported me during my campaign for city council. It's an honor and a privilege to work for the city of St. Francis, the community, and the residents. I want to keep an open dialogue with all business owners and the residents. I can be reached on Facebook, and I also can be reached, my information will be on the webpage for the city. And thanks again for the residents' support. I appreciate it. Thanks.
I'd like to basically mimic everything Rob said and just encourage people to get a hold of us. Website, whether it's Facebook, whether it's through the city. You gotta express your concerns to us because we work for you and we need your input to have that community gathering. The only way I think we can move forward in the best possible fashion is for us all to work together. So, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? That's it? All right, report from the mayor. Well, first of all, I want to wish everybody a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year. And I want to say that as a resident, I'm as perturbed as you are with these water and sewer rates. I have no doubt about that. I am very perturbed about this. But as mayor, I can tell you that with staff and council, we will leave no stone unturned in reducing these rates. I can't tell you it will happen overnight because it won't, but it will happen. And we will work our hardest to do that. I will leave, again, no stone unturned looking for grant money anywhere and everywhere. But that is something I say here because, like I say, we are not just on the council, we are residents too, and we're paying that bill. I just got a bill for $123 up from 94, which was up from 72. I am very perturbed. So we as a council, along with staff, will be one place I can definitely use we. Anyways, I also want to say is, we're going to bring this into a little informality. I mean, there's a formal conduct and an informal. I want you, the public, to feel comfortable coming to these meetings. I want the people viewing here to understand that we work for you. We're not going to forget that. We are you. And that's a big thing to us up here. I may say the word I or we, may be wrong or whatever. I may not get a motion right or an ordinance right or whatever. But never forget or think that I will forget who I work for, which is you, the public. I want to thank you, everybody else. Any old business at all at this time? Any new business? I look forward to working with everybody. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned. Make a motion. See, I already made a mistake.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. No, I already done it. I will correct that the next time. Thank you very much.